Hey guys, welcome to the walk around of my 1997 Jeep Wrangler TJ. Some people have been asking me for it, so I decided to do one real quick. If you're watching this and you're not a subscriber, go ahead and head over to our page and click the subscribe button. We appreciate it. This whole Jeep thing started back a long time ago when I was living with my buddy Nate. He's the one making videos for Bleepin' Jeep now. So he got a Jeep Wrangler. I used to be his passenger all the time. I decided I wanted to get one for myself, and I believe 2008 is when I purchased this. I bought it for $5,500. It had a Dana 30 in the front, a Dana 35 in the back, and 33-inch tires. I think I got a couple of pictures from my first wheeling trip out with it. It did pretty good, but as you can tell in some of my videos, and as I'll show you right now, pretty much nothing on this Jeep is the same as it was when I bought it in 2008. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I've done to it. So the body is pretty beat up. It's hard to tell on camera. This is a bad spotter situation where there's a root that was sticking out, hit right here, dented all the way down, and then smashed my door and smashed my door all the way into here. And I'm surprised my door still actually opens. Let's start at the front here. These fenders were custom made by Nate. He had them on his Jeep for quite a long time. They're actually one of the first projects, custom projects that he did. He built himself on his Jeep. They turned out really nice using the stock fender and then adding all of the flare and all the tubing and everything to it. It turned out really nice. They've also been in a rollover, which is, you can see why all these scratches are here. I left them because I like the way it looks all beat up, not all pretty and perfect. He also made this swing away tire carrier. It swings out like this, and got my Smittybilt trail jack back here and my spare tire. The spare tire, actually I modified this. I cut it down and dropped it about 5 inches and angled it in towards the center of the Jeep more. It used to stick out way high up here on the back, and I didn't really like that. I wanted the center of the weight of the spare tire as close to the rear end of the Jeep as possible and not sticking way out. So that's one of the things that I changed when I bought it from, is I cut this off, dropped it down, angled it back towards the rear of the Jeep, kind of give it a more Baja style look. This is a Smittybilt rock slider. I really like this one because it has this bar that comes off, and I use it to go around trees and whatnot. Okay, so I'm currently running 36-inch 1350 15 IROC Bi-Supply Super Swampers. I bought these in June of 2015, so they're a little more than 3 years old, and they've been holding up pretty well. The street driving, just because they're pretty soft, if you're driving on the street a lot, it's going to wear down that tread really fast. But I found that for here in Washington, the combination of trails, a little bit of rocks, and a lot of mud, these IROCs do really well in all of those things. I'm running worn standard hubs, and the other side is still running my spare from when I broke my other one, is the worn premium hub. So I think I like the premium ones a lot better. Now that I've had that one on for a couple of trips, I really like it a lot better. So I think I'm just going to buy a set of those and use my standard hubs as my spare hubs. Let's talk suspension. So I'm running 4-inch Fabtech springs. These are the springs that came on this when I bought this Jeep. I got Terraflex, I think it's 1-inch spacers in the front, and Pro Comp ES 9000 shocks. So I'm running a high pinion Dana 44 out of a 1976 F-150. I cut the inner C's off of the knuckle and narrowed it so it's the width of Wagoneer axles. So I'm running Chromoly Wagoneer Axles, 3-link in the front with a track bar. So I have an axle truss where my top link is mounted to. And this track bar bracket right here that I have on the frame is something I made out of, I think, a rear track bar bracket that I can't remember that I had, that I purchased and I actually didn't use it, so I cut it down, and it ended up working for this application for my track bar here on the front really nicely. My steering is something I made myself with 1.5" DOM tubes and Heim joints from Barnes 4-wheel drive. So I've just drilled out the knuckles and am running big grade 8 bolts. My steering box, I got a Genrite steering box skid plate, Dodge Dakota gearbox on this thing, Smitty built winch. It's the waterproof one. It's the kind of the first generation of the waterproof one. Barnes 4-wheel drive front diff cover, and I'm running 513 gears with a spool in the front, which is why it's really important that I have these good selectable hubs so I can unlock it. I can run 3-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, or unlock both of them for my driving on the street. A couple other things I've done back here: outboarded the rear shocks and relocated the coil mount bracket back a few inches. I have videos on both of those, so if you've been watching my videos, then you've already seen those. To be honest, I don't know how old these bumpers are, but they've been on this thing for a long time and gotten a lot of use. I got these Genrite hood louvers. They look really good and they're functional, because these TJs are just really notorious for overheating, and it lets a little bit of that hot air out. Let's take a peek under the hood. Just pull it all the way back. Ugh. So the motor is completely factory. Aluminum radiator, electric fan. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I do a whole install video on this. One thing that I just did like yesterday was I put HID headlights in. Nothing special under here except for my AC compressor has been converted to an air compressor. Got a pressure switch, got our intake and our output that goes to the tank here, which in turn has my air hose. So I can air up tires, run air tools, and all kinds of stuff just with the factory AC compressor. I might make a video on that, how to do that, but I'll get there eventually. Optima battery, Mountain Off-Road Enterprise 1-inch motor mount lift right there. It goes on with my 1-inch body lift. So I'm gonna try and get some good light up under here to show you my front suspension. So I'm running 2-inch DOM 1/4-inch wall, Heim joints from Barnes, brackets from Barnes 4-wheel drive, and a Tom Woods drive shaft that I had him build for me in the front. 1-inch body lift, Rancho lower control arms, and Rubicon Express adjustable upper control arms. And I have a custom drive shaft that my local Fleet Pride made for me for my Ford 8.8. The person I bought this Jeep from did the light's a little better now, did a hack and tap in the transfer case, the 231. So I'm still rocking that, making it work. I'd like to do a full redo on that, full shaft replacement, all that stuff, but I think I'm probably going to do like a Dana 300 or something like that instead of wasting any time on that. But custom exhaust shop locally did that for me, did all the bends up and over the axle. This is another part I got from Nate, is this gas tank skid plate. Because this Ford 8.8 is a little bit bigger, and because I have the pinion angle to get it the way I wanted it, I had to drop it back a little bit. The fuel tank is actually notched out a few inches. It should be right here, but it actually goes back I don't know, 2 inches. You see that little notch right there? He made that little notch, so now I have just enough clearance for my 8.8. The Wrangler off-road diff cover, yeah, I mean, you can see how much abuse that this thing has taken over the years. So I'm running the Super 88 kit on my 8.8. Had really good luck with it. I really like the way it's set up. It's pretty much gets rid of the C-clip and then moves the bearing and everything to the outer part of the housing. So it's pretty much the same setup as a Ford 9-inch on the outside here, and it's got chromoly axles. Never broken one. Never had any problems with the 8.8. Woo!
Testing out the old Super 88, I see.
So let's take a look inside. So I have a full roll cage in here. I just put my top on like 2 days ago, so not gonna be able to see it very well, but I have a Blue Torch Fab front half kit. It's got the dash bar. I added these grab bars myself. Like I said, I had the Blue Torch Fab front half kit, which only included the front. So I made the rear half kit part, cut my sound bar so I could put it in, and I have these 2 pieces here I cut and actually put a bend in it right here for headroom. You can see right there, and then another bar in the back here with a bend in it for headroom. And I have a 5-point harness. You can see this is for my kid. So my kid sits, that's bolted down to the tub in the frame. Throttle cable right here, so I can adjust my throttle and it'll stay there. Comes in handy when I'm winching, and that's pretty much about it. You can see right here, I'm currently working on putting a 5-point harness in the factory seats. This is Dragonfire Racing, I think it's for a Polaris Razor 5-point harness that I modified my seat, took it all apart and made it work. So I'll be doing that to this one and making a video of it, and then putting in a harness bar, and putting in 5-point harnesses hopefully in the next few months. Alright, thanks for watching my video. As you can see right now, I currently have the Jeep torn apart, got the transmission and transfer case out, replacing the clutch. Throwout bearing was junk. There's also a retaining clip inside that was holding the shift fork that was also broken, causing it to have some shifting issues, but I got it all tore down and I'm going to be putting it back together here in the next couple days. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you go to our page, hit the subscribe button, like our videos, and give us some comments, and we'll see you on the trail.